Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. You're coming live. I'm coming live to you from Australia, and I'm in Far North Queensland, which is along the Great Barrier Reef coastline. It's morning in Australia. I just came from the beach. There's a power outage, so there's no power. Just talked to the neighbor, and she said, oh, about 400 homes are affected, so we're waiting on power. It's been about an hour so far. So usually when this happens, it's about an hour or two. I've got a little dog that's very excited. She's running up and down. And hello from Oregon, the Forest Crone. Welcome to the show. What is your name? How are you? And Marianne says, good morning, Australia. Happy Mercury retrograde. So here we are. Live, the little Frenchie, she's running up and down. She's very excited. Maybe you can hear her breathing. And it says here, I'll be on shortly. Here I am. And what's next? During this broadcast, you can support my page by sending stars, a digital gift that helps me to earn money. Live views comments show up on StreamYard. This is an example. Click on comment to show it on screen. So I usually click on the comments just like that, which will bring it live. Just so you know that when you do make comments, I do notice, I do watch them. So welcome again. It's 8:10 a.m. in Australia. I'm in Port Douglas, which is a small little fishing town along the Great Barrier Reef coastline, which is called Far North Queensland. So it's on the eastern side of Australia. You can think of the northeastern side of Australia. So I'm getting Connecticut for some reason. I'm thinking more like you have New York. That's more like that's similar in America. It's like the far northeast. And because we are coming to you live, please do like and share the show. I was talking a little bit last week about inherent worthiness. We had a problem with the video and a problem with the sound. And I'm getting to know this system, which is called StreamYard. So the technology is improving. I'm improving working with the technology. And it's the same with a lot of us. We have, depending on your age, you've been through a long period of discovery and technology changing, growing, updating, developing. A lot of us probably felt a lot of fear and trepidation, and we didn't always have good experiences with technology, perhaps growing up or whatever age group. So we've almost got this, I wouldn't say collective trauma, but it's a sense of dread, perhaps, or a sense of discomfort. So this is kind of the new age, though. Technology is different from where it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and so on. It's not the same technology. It is much more user-friendly, and it is being designed in a more user-friendly way. But does that make sense? Do you have similar experiences? The Forest Crone StreamYard can act up sometimes, plus Mercury. Laugh out loud. Yeah, so it just nothing worked. The sound didn't work, and then the video didn't work, and then the video didn't work, and the sound didn't work, and it just wasn't. It was very glitchy. Didn't flow at all, and I was talking away, and I didn't know that people couldn't hear me. So I thought at that moment I was channeling. I was really in the zone, and then nobody could hear me. But the important thing is that I could hear myself. That's a joke. I was joking. So the Forest Crone. So what is your actual name, or is it Forest Crone? And how is Oregon? How is Portland? Are you in Portland or another place? I only really have heard of Portland, and I heard it's a really neat place. Marianne says, I've been from last, and now we're at MP3. Yeah, so I guess a lot of us on the show, and I guess all of us, have seen a lot of technological changes and developments. And I would say that I see a lot of people who are very afraid of AI, and there's room to be optimistic as well. Don't just take in all the negatives. There's it does seem like the world is infinitely more chaotic than ever before. And partly all this technological growth and extraterrestrial input and influence it's part of the complexity. And for the Schumann resonance, the vibration has been shifting, upgrading. It's been getting more and more intense on the earth. So I feel like it's fiery. It's more important than ever to look after the nervous system, make sure you are getting the deep REM sleep, the deep states of beta and theta states of sleep, and going delta into the deep states of sleep. Marianne says, AI isn't worth the mistakes it's making. Which mistakes are you referring to, Marianne? I'm curious which mistakes you're referring to. I think you read it. So AI does make mistakes, but the thing with any technology is that it takes time to be tested and tested and tested, and they experiment on human beings a lot. And after a while, things do improve. So yeah, things do make mistakes, but we are embracing it. I think a lot of economies, a lot of countries, they are using it. A lot of big companies are using it. It's a huge revolution. It is the AI revolution. It's part of the digital revolution. It is bringing on a new age, and it's a strange time to be alive. It feels like AI is doing things better than human beings, and very quickly it produces, a PhD thesis in 30 seconds or something like that. Human beings it take years to do something like that. Well, maybe we can do it a little bit better than AI at some points, but usually AI is beating human beings. And they did test doctors versus AI recently, and AI was a big winner. So, Marianne, yes, AI does make mistakes, but so do human beings. So what do you do? So AI beats the human beings as doctors. So what will it beat us at next? I love the idea of a therapist trained in Buddhism. My own therapist is very Zen-like and spiritual. It adds so much to therapy. It can very much add a lot of dimensions. Depth, I would say, is a big one. Presence is such a big one. Definitely, there is a Buddhist aspect of humility that comes with the territory. Not that everyone gets that right, but at least it's a very strong goal, which you didn't get with traditional psychoanalysis, with traditional therapy. You had these massive egos. Same with doctors. It was all about the ego, very little about the therapy. So the Buddhist angle, not everyone who follows Buddhism is perfect, but you get a highly attuned aspect of non-self, or of diminishing the ego self, or the sense of importance, at least, of the self. There's different definitions of ego, of course, but the sense of I am important, I'm the important one in the room is very much distilled and well, I would say not necessarily dissolved, but it's tempered. It's and also control is a strong word. It's mitigated. That's the best word to describe that. Carla says hi and welcome. Hi, Debbie. Hi, David. How are you? I'm doing really good. I'm getting a bit warm. So we have a power outage, and the battery, I don't know how long the battery is going to last. So I have to talk really quickly, Carlos. How are you doing? And it's also a bit warm. I usually have the fans on, which gives a bit of airflow, and I often put the aircon on in the morning just to cool things off, because it's 30 degrees Celsius, which I don't remember the Fahrenheit, but it's probably around the late 80s, maybe something like that. The first crone, it's very much about having healthy ego that you then break down, laugh out loud. So so much of being human is bringing awareness to our foibles, bringing awareness to all of us having every aspect of the human dimension. So all of us have a narcissistic streak, or a sense of selfishness, and that's natural, that's instinctual, that is important for survival. So a lot of the things that are set up for survival are very appropriate in a certain context, but not so appropriate in another context. So it may be appropriate when you're out in the wild hunting and being hunted, having a bit of a predator angle and thinking just of yourself and maybe your own tribe is important. But helps your survival, but as a relation, in terms of applied to relationally and time applied to the modern world and relationships and how we aspect ourselves, how we aspect reality, how we consciously derive our perspective, it is helpful always to see the world as an interconnected, complex system, which we're a small part of, and we can contribute with metta, with loving kindness in a positive way. So we can always bring loving kindness to ourselves and to humanity and the world, to nature. So compassion can exhaust. So we get compassion fatigue when we are too much oriented towards compassion. So there needs always to be a balance. And one of the key teachings in Buddhism, one of the Buddha's key teachings, is the middle path, the middle way, is really being centered, following the center way, which is sort of common sense. But I know in America, you don't seem to have that anymore. It went out of fashion. You were either one side or you were the other side. It's like you have this almost like a masculine, feminine kind of dichotomy, a masculine, feminine kind of polarization, which is not really healthy, because the masculine and the feminine, I'm sure you've seen the yin and yang symbol, are intricate and intertwined with all of nature. And especially if you look at the Taoism system and the Asian philosophies, they very much see balance as the natural order, everything coming into the center, everything coming into balance. And I think that would be really helpful politically, how we see the world and how we see other people, to see them as part of us and not our enemies. They're not our enemies. A man is not the enemy of a woman is not the enemy of a man. And really, we're here to co-create and share the world, have fun along the way, but not, tune into this polarization energy and this us and them. And unfortunately, with any sort of group, you tend to get that. Even a Buddhist group, some of them, there is this tendency of us and them, and we are doing this and everyone else is doing something else. This othering sense, which is common with this world, and social media seems to have accentuated it, emphasized it, sort of blown it out of proportion to the reality, which is have a conversation with other people, whatever they are, and realize that they share your humanity. They're a human being just like you, often very much the same fears, and perhaps some different ideology, which is the realm of ideas. So play with ideas. There isn't really a right and a wrong. Certain things work, certain things don't work, certain things work better than other things. And we do a lot of trial and error. We do a lot of trial and error here as human beings. So a little bit of a tangent, the forest crone, but thank you for sharing, connecting that, and understanding that there is a sense of self that is healthy. There's a healthy masculine and an unhealthy masculine, a healthy feminine and unhealthy feminine. We have both dimensions within us, with the inner child, with the masculine part of ourselves coming through the father, the feminine part of ourselves coming through the mother, the feminine principle flowing through us, as well as the masculine principle. Both are co-creating and animating us at the same time, interwoven and interconnected. I'm thinking the original premise of the movie Terminator, which really was that AI took over and fought humanity. That's, doomsday scenarios, and we always have these end of world scenarios. It's part of our history because it's happened before, so it's very real. It happened in Atlantis, and we do have that in our collective history. It is part of our ancestry, so we remember that, and that is helpful in preventing it in the future. So the knowledge that these things can happen helps us bring ourselves into awareness, bring ourselves into the present moment, and be, all right, well, this is not working. We need to shift and do things humanistically, do things to serve humanity, help humanity for the common good of human beings, but also the common good of the environment, of nature, and our home, which is planet Earth. So if we're not looking after our home, then what are we thinking? It's not really very much common sense or logical. And that is what we were talking before about this selfish ego, or this rapacious part of the ego that comes from fear. And the fear is there's not enough. So I have to take everything right now because there's not enough, and there's never enough. So that is an idea that is in the realm of ideas. It's a fear. It's a thought form that may appear real, but it's not. So we really have to look at that and realize that the world is a neutral place, and we are the ones that can plant seeds. We can water the gardens of our soul. We can water the gardens of our community. We can share and help the world. And really, there is this neutral space. It's not out to get us. It is working with patterns and energy, and the I Ching is very powerful and important in understanding the matrix of reality. Carlos says, I'm good. That's really good to see you, Carlos. I'm doing well. Welcome, Summer, and great to see you. Welcome on the show. Slightly different time, and great to see you back here. How have you been? And Debbie from Psychic Fixer says, hi, Carlos, it's Debbie. How's it going? Happy Thanksgiving. There's a channel I'm listening to online. I'm trying to remember her name. And she actually reminds me of you, Debbie. And she's really amazing because she speaks to a lot of people who are on the other side. But she also does these sort of mind channels from people who are still incarnated, still alive. So she does both. And she's really fun. I recommend her. I just need to remember her name. So let me see what I can do. Connie McDonald, welcome to the show. Where are you in the world? And welcome coming to you live from Facebook. Butterfly says, in the realm of David's world. So welcome, Butterfly. I saw some beautiful comments on YouTube, and I didn't get a chance to respond to them, and then they got deleted, and I was really sad. And I thought, maybe I'm too attached. Maybe I'm too attached to the words. And I received the beautiful energy, and then it went away. And it's part of this impermanence that everything's changing. So thank you for the lesson, Butterfly. I would love to have responded to what you wrote, and I was so grateful for your beautiful words of encouragement for me. Marianne said, I've had mental health for quite a while. Allow sadness. Depression is not a deep pit. The medicine isn't necessary to lift the sadness. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, Marianne. And I've had the same, so I'm really with you in that way, Marianne. And there certainly are deep, dark crevices one can fall into, even the dark abyss, the dark night of the soul. John of the Cross spoke about that. I really relate to John of the Cross, the dark night of the soul. I've been to several dark nights of the soul, so it's kind of familiar territory for me. And I sort of absolutely agree with you that patience, time, presence, the wisdom arises, and sometimes it does need some physical action. So getting moving really helps, getting the energy flowing, allowing things. So flow is such an important way of how I see the world and operate in the world. And emotions are like water. They're the emotions of water. They flow. So what happens with things like sadness and depression is people can get stuck in that. So know that a new day arises. It's a season, and winter doesn't last forever. But some people do rely on some medicine. Most of it is placebo. Most of it doesn't work very well. It has a lot of side effects. So I do believe in the future we'll be working more with plant medicines like psychobacillin, and the magic mushrooms, and all these wonderful natural medicines like ayahuasca from the shamanic realm. There's many herbal medicines. I used to use a lot of St. John's wort. That's quite a famous one as a herbal medicine. It doesn't shift one's. I didn't find it shifted my perspective that much. It just helped to energize me. So each herb is a messenger. It has a great wisdom to teach us. Each plant is a messenger of God consciousness, of wisdom. It has a unique flavor, unique essence. When you taste a herb like peppermint, it's got a very unique flavor, so a unique consciousness, and that consciousness does affect us in different ways. So each one has a different effect, and so it is something more. It's more of an art, the art of herbal medicine. I did study herbal medicine for 4 years, so I do love herbal medicine and believe in it, and understand the mental health aspects that sometimes, particularly with very deep mental health issues, it does require some more serious treatment. But I find it strange that people want to put people in prisons and think that putting people in prisons is a solution. It can assist people, though. It can assist people, but often it's just a short-term prison, and they have to come out in the world eventually and deal with the same issues. So I believe more in a complementary approach, mixing psychotherapy with herbal medicine, with psychobacillin, with different types of ceremony, sacred community, breath work, sound, meditation, but with certain mental health folks, as you call them, meditation is not helpful. It's really often people who do have schizophrenia, I think you call it, or bipolar, or things that are can be quite intense. Something like depression is sometimes dangerous. It's not helpful. So just be aware that each thing has to be unique. It has to be uniquely programmed and uniquely oriented towards each individual. There's no cure-all. We each have to live through the human experience. I'm so happy David is live on Psychic Fixes, and I'm so happy you are here too. We're surviving without power, and we don't have any light, but there's light enough outside, and the beautiful sun is alive and sending us messages, and it says to go out and live your lives in a happy and joyful way. Carpe diem, embrace the moment right now. Butterfly says, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. So I take it is Thanksgiving. I didn't know about that. So Butterfly, thank you so much again for always being on the money and for sharing that. And happy Thanksgiving. What are you doing to celebrate? Is it a public holiday, as in like Labor Day, or what are you up to? Do you celebrate? And Carla says, Psychic Fixes. Psychic Fixes says, oh, wow. And David Starlyte says, oh, wow. That's my favorite word. I'm really good at wow. I'm like, wow, this amazing awe. And that's what it is to be a kid, to be a child, maybe a baby, to remember what it was, to have that alive essence that everything's new. PsychicFixes.com. Hi, Debbie. Happy Thanksgiving to you. So wishing Debbie a beautiful Thanksgiving, and thank you for all that you do and all that you are and everything that you have done in the world, contributing to a much better world. Absolutely. Connie McDonald says, I'm in Helena, Montana, USA. So I've never been to Montana, USA, Connie. I would love to hear about Montana. How wonderful that you're live with us on Facebook. How is it going in Montana? Is it late at night? What time is it for you? The forest crone says, I'm going through a dark night myself and sitting with it, being present with it all and waiting for the light. It always comes. So the darkness before the dawn. So sorry to hear about that. And in my experience, the light does arise. The sun does come up again. So that's been my experience. So sitting with it, being patient with it, and sometimes I would say not just sitting, but actually moving. So for me, sitting is sometimes not really helpful to let the light arise. And sometimes I need to get physically embodied. So sitting with it, yes, but maybe physical embodiment. Our consciousness is running through our nervous system, through our human bodies. So our consciousness is through our human bodies. So when we look at that dimension, care for that dimension, move that energy, bring ourselves back into our bodies, often these things shift really quickly. So I always used to do a lot of mountain hiking, and I always met people. And the one great theory was you can never feel depressed if you climb a mountain. So maybe you have to get to the top. Maybe you have to maybe you have to get to the top and then come down to the bottom. But that was an interesting theory. That was a theory, a working theory. Nobody's depressed if they climb a mountain. But you've got to get down again. You've got to climb it up and come down again and embrace the moment. And maybe you need to see the sunrise, and symbolically doing a little bit of a process, a little bit of a shifting the energy. So we always have these kind of metaphors that work in our lives, these stories that we tell ourselves. And sometimes we need a moment or a ritual that can light things up, can shift things, that we can burn. Like we can burn the old. So one way I do it is write letters and then burn them. And it's symbolic of letting go. And our battery is getting a little bit low. So if I suddenly disappear, you'll know why. So symbolically, sometimes we need our candles, we need our fire to burn through whatever it is we're struggling with. But sometimes we need to move the energy. We need to go into our ancestral energy, and all of us have that strongly, especially because our mother's eggs were in our grandmother's body. Our mother's eggs were produced in our grandmother's womb, if that makes sense. So we're connected to our grandmothers. So that's our connection to our grandmothers. Our mother's eggs were, I think, at 4 months old or something like that, 4 months in the womb, and our mother's eggs are produced. All of her eggs were produced in our grandmother's body. So that's our ancestral connection. It's really strong when you think of it like that, how we have this connection to our ancestors, our grandmothers. Through adversity, we connect more with our soul and awaken into our authenticity. Butterfly says, always something essential, something beautiful, something about bringing through the high consciousness. Through adversity, we connect more with our soul and awaken into our authenticity. Thank you for sharing, Butterfly. And the first current says, I do a lot of work with mushrooms, ayahuasca, peyote, and cannabis. I'm able to go very deep within without fear. Plant medicine is amazing. So that is truly wonderful. Mushrooms, ayahuasca, peyote, and cannabis. So the first crone, that is so wonderful. And thank you for sharing that. It's allows one to penetrate the walls, penetrate the illusions, penetrate the the things we think are real, which aren't real, and go very deep without fear. So thank you so much. It's so inspiring. Marianne says, most of psychotropic medicine gives me problems, actual depression, feeling like I'm a machine, that type of thing. Medication is a prison too. It brings an imbalance into the brain chemicals. It absolutely does. And these are interesting ideas. And certainly it does take, it's more of an art. I find life is more of an art than a science, but it's a bit of both. And we do need to explore ourselves, our own nervous system, find things that work for us, and not be addicted or overly attached to certain things, certain outcomes, certain ideas, certain types of consciousness. But it's interesting that you have that experience, and experientially we find out who we are. Experientially, we find out who we are. Marianne says, oh yes, a public holiday, a bank holiday. So it's a public holiday, Marianne. Happy holidays. Carlos says, love a card. So we'll get to Carlos soon if the battery allows. Butterfly says, the shedding of illusions and layers revealing our true divine essence. The shedding of illusions and layers revealing our true essence. And that is really core. That is really what it is to be alive in a human body, running our consciousness through our nervous system, and knowing that the thoughts that we have are our thoughts. And this is a garden that we need to tend to. We need to water our garden. We need to clear the leaves. We need to trim. We need to shed the old and embrace the new. So Carlos says, thank you. Forest Current says, so true. I'm out here hiking in Oregon's rain, and it's lovely. That's beautiful. I wish I could see a picture. I'd love to see a picture and share that moment with you, but I feel like you are sharing it collectively with all of us, and that is really wonderful and appreciated. Butterfly says, I enjoy mountain biking, my favorite. Isn't that wonderful, Butterfly? Being on the bike. And actually, for me, I also enjoy mountain biking. And it's when I had an accident, I think I mentioned, Butterfly. I was on a bike, and then I fell off the bike. I came crashing down to earth, and I realized that grounding is very important. Crossing fingers the battery lasts, the card as well. Please. All right, so Carlos, we are going to go ahead and ground ourselves, calling up the higher angels and guides for the best possible pathway, the best possible outcome for all involved, all of humanity. And we have the lifting veil card that's popped up. We have the double mission card. We have the importance of being kind to yourself and understanding you do have rare gifts. A little bit of softness, a little bit of tenderness is often forgotten in this world we live in. So bring in the tenderness, bring in the innocence, the kindness, and remember that you do have a double mission, which is often more to do, something like spiritual and physical. You're here to serve the world by being you. There's a sense of a starseed connection coming through. And this is about lifting the veil. So seeing the illusion, questioning things. So I think you do that already really well, Carlos. It's an endorsement. This is encouraging you to question everything. Realize that that's an illusion, that's a veil. Everything is an illusion and a veil. And what's real is essential, what real is eternal. It's love. That's what Rumi always said. What's real is love. What's love is real. And everything else is commentary. Everything else is illusion. Everything else is often pulling us away from God, pulling us away from the divine dimension, pulling us away from our true source, which is love, knowingness, bliss, and a lot of peace. So lifting the veil means that everything unaligned must go, Carla. So it's also a challenge to you to shift whatever is unaligned in your life. Let it go, Carlos. All right, so that's thank you, Carlos says, and Marianne says, oh yes, a public holiday, a bank holiday. I think where were you, Marianne? All right, crossing fingers the battery lasts. A card as well, please. So we are going to pick a card for Marianne. Channeling Marianne. All right, so let's get this through for Marianne. All right, so we are here to remind you that you are part of Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, Mother Nature. So being outside in the gardens, spending time every day in nature is actually really important. And this is reminding you to be in nature. I think I've got this card for you before, Marianne, a reminder to go out in nature. Connect with the stars, connect with the sun, connect with the earth, connect with the forest, the plants. Slow down, take a deep breath. Remember who you are, Marianne. All right, the forest crown. I'd love a card as well, if that works. So we are just holding on with our battery, and I'm trying to go really quickly, which is just how it flows. So whatever goes, it is meant for you. If it lands on you, it's for you. Okay, let's have a look there. And we have the same card, or we have the same card. Perhaps this is the theme of the energy, which is very much go into nature. And you're in nature, so you're doing it. But what a beautiful card. I'm just going to show you that card. And I heard Oregon's really a beautiful state, so I hope you're in something really beautiful. A stream, a forest that is reminding you to slow down. And this is another reminder of Earth School. So you're in Earth School, and Earth School is here to give you some hard knocks, but always raise your vibration. And the quicker you learn the life lessons, the quicker you can move on to the next chapter. So, and make sure things don't repeat themselves. So part of your incarnation is about soul growth, remembrance. There is a sense of study, of connecting to the earth's wisdom, higher learning. So this is very beautiful card for you. It's really quite inspiring. So you are really here to dive deep, and you're also here to slow down and remember who you are, be in nature and connect. All right, so butterfly would also like a card, and let's just shake that up. And I hear that the power may be back on, so I'm just going to plug it in like that. Let me see if that's working. Yeah, all right, we are back on. So there you go. Who would have thought? We are back on. Things are working for us. Beautiful. Things are working for us. So I can slow down and connect to nature, connect to my breath. Okay. So where were we, butterfly? Actually, let me just shuffle that all again. I got so excited, butterfly. I got so excited. All right, so we have the empathic star seed. So the empathic star seed, that's you, that's jumped out. Energetic sovereignty is important, and keep reminding yourself this, keep remembering this energetic sovereignty. So what's yours is yours, what's others is others. And compassion fatigue is something that you are experiencing. So absorbing what is not yours. So because you are a higher light, you're intuitive empathy, you're also like a sponge, you're absorbing all this stuff, but it's not actually yours. So clear your energy and don't give too much. Don't give it all away, butterfly. Hold some inside. Keep some for yourself and your own light. You need that for your own light, your own vibration to upgrade. So we are just looking at the cards for you, butterfly. Let's have a look at that. We have the Remember card. So this card is reminding you that you have a soul plan. Sometimes you veer off the soul plan. Sometimes you do your own thing, but you do have a fated life versus a destiny. And sometimes you're playing around the edges a little bit, butterfly, which is almost part of it, it's a quirky thing. Your guides are kind of laughing with you. So sometimes there's this idea in your head, which is like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's keeping you almost away from what it is that you're actually meant to be doing. So you have these intractable ideas, so let it all go. Let that all dissolve into illusion. So even the idea of illusion itself is an illusion. Even the idea of emptiness itself is, in the ultimate sense, empty. It is void. So that message comes through for you, butterfly. Marianne says, thank you. Carlos says, thank you, David, and thank you, Carlos. And the Forest Crone says, thank you, and thank you, Forest Crone. Connie McDonald, it's 3:33 p.m. Wow, that's a magical moment. 3:33. I love the 3:33s. I'm kind of a bit addicted to 11:11, so but 3:33 is my second favorite. Cool afternoon at around 30 Fahrenheit. That sounds really cold. Montana is one of the most beautiful states. Glacier National Park, Yellowstone National Park, and the Badlands. More cows than people. I prefer cows a lot of the time, Connie. I have done Terra Root for my anxiety. Terra Root for my anxiety, but it knocks me out for hours. So that's the kind of thing that would take it at night, take it at night. I can take prescriptions for depression or anxiety that make me sick. I ground myself by walking in the yard barefoot or in slow moving stream. And I'm getting that the sun on your skin, Connie, is kind of activating you. So you need to feel the sun on your skin. That's gonna activate things. And for your anxiety, I feel strongly the Terra Root, take it at night. I feel like 9 p.m. is a good time, but experiment with that. Depends what time you're going to sleep as well. But I would say take it at night is the best solution. Same with things like CBD oil that can make you tired. So it's 3:33 p.m. A magic moment, cool fall afternoon, around 30 Fahrenheit. 30 Fahrenheit. Montana is one of the most beautiful states. Glacier National Park, Yellowstone National Park, and the Badlands. More cows than people. Well, I love your message, Connie, and thank you for sharing so much and for kind of a question and a comment. And Butterfly says, beautiful message, David, and beautiful message to you, Butterfly. And thank you for your learning. Thank you for being so principled. But a reminder sometimes to let go of the ideas. Let go of the ideas of the shoulds and the shouldn'ts and how things should be and what you think you shouldn't do. A little bit of overthinking going on here, Butterfly. So clear that. Get into the body. Get into your human body. It's here for purpose. And it's your vessel. It's your divine vessel. A vessel for you to manifest your soul, for your soul to be manifest in your body. Inherent worthiness is very important. Please subscribe to David's YouTube channel. He accepts tips also. Check out the description. I'm going to write down again. It is at the bottom description, so have a look. Session bookings are available through the Heal.me app, or just through the website as well. The website works. The YouTube channel, David Starlyte, the Facebook, Instagram, David Starlyte. It's all David Starlyte. It's all one. I'm one. And I'm your messenger here with you today, doing meditation, intuitive readings. And here as a gateway, as a messenger, here to have fun as well. So it's been really wonderful. Happy holidays, everyone. I will be back next week, and I think the power will be back on. Let's see how we go. Staying non-attached and enjoying the impermanence Wonderful to see new people. Wonderful to see Connie back on the show, tuning in to meet Connie and the Forest Crone and Carlos and Marianne and Butterfly. And Stu is there in Florida. Always sending love to Stu in Florida. Big hearts to you. And may these hearts bring you much joy today, much inner light and fulfillment and happiness in Florida, Stu. And chat to you soon. Feel free to say hi. Clearing all the energy from the interwebs, from the cosmic interconnections, the interwebs, clearing that and reminding us that coming back to nature, coming back to the sun on our skin, trees, forests, mountains, ocean, that is the best way to clear that kind of cobweb energy. And clearing it from our field, doing that with your intention, with your visualization. Intention is very strong and very powerful. So visualizing a golden orb, a golden light, clearing all that energy. Perhaps you can visualize a rainbow around you, pink cosmic energy, clearing it all. Perhaps the pink that you see in my painting on the screen can help you clear the energy, purify the energy, and bring yourself fully back into this incarnation, into your physical body, into presence, into divine union with the masculine, with the feminine, into the center, into balance. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's done. So thank you everyone for being here. See you again next week. Happy holidays. Lots of love. Please do like and share the show if you got something from it. And see you next week on the other side.